Every morning, at dawn's first light, Jonah Morales could be found perched on the ladder of his rickety old van, paintbrush in hand, splashing vibrant colors against the dull, gray walls of his neighborhood like a jolt of caffeine. He was a muralist, though his art had largely become a whisper echoed against the cacophony of urban decay surrounding him. The scars of economic hardship bled through the cracked sidewalks and peeling paint of each building in Eastwood, a struggling neighborhood perpetually caught in the grip of forgotten dreams. Jonah himself was no stranger to struggle. Barely scraping by with freelance gigs, he had yet to find stability. His meager income wasn't enough to cover rent for the small basement apartment he shared with his younger sister, Mia, who was still in high school. Days were spent juggling odd jobs, painting signs for the local businesses, touching up faded storefronts, all while keeping an eye on the neighborhood kids who looked at him with eager for stories and tales spun in vibrant hues. It was these children, with their wide, innocent eyes, who reminded him why he held tightly to his paintbrush, through every late-night worry and sleepless moment. Though often weighed down by financial burdens, Jonah held his values close like a well-worn sketchbook. He believed that art had the power to heal and unite, to elevate spirits and bring people together in a place where hope was often overshadowed by despair. That calling pushed him to soar through struggles, illuminating the cracks of his world with strokes of color and imagination. Yet, on days like today, standing before an empty wall in an alley laden with garbage, he felt the familiar pang of defeat. It loomed large, casting a shadow over his spirited resolve. That was when he saw them, a group of children collecting cans and bottles from the sidewalk. They worked quietly, determinedly, faces scrunched up in concentration. It was both heartwarming and heartbreaking to see such young souls bearing the weight of survival. Jonah's heart twisted at the thought. He remembered what it felt like to scramble for pennies, an act that came from necessity but should never be the mantra of childhood. With a sigh that mingled with the crisp morning air, Jonah climbed down his ladder. He approached the children, a bright smile beaming through the worry lines etched on his face. "Hey, there, little artists. What's the prize for all your hard work?" A boy named Carlos, no older than 10, looked up, his hands sticky with the remnants of energy drinks, and said, "We're trying to get enough money to help my mom. She's sick, you see. We need medicine." That simple response tugged at Jonah's heart. As he rummaged through his pockets, he thought of everything he had been striving for but had yet to attain. Suddenly it felt trivial in the face of such earnest need. The financial strain of his own life was eclipsed by the gravity of this child's unyielding love for family. Jonah's hands fished out a crumpled $20 bill, its faded print representing a precious meal he had been saving for later. "Instead of buying soda, why don't you take this? It can help your mom," he offered, feeling a surge of warmth unfurl within him at the boy's wide, grateful grin. Carlos's eyes lit up. "Really? Thank you." His voice trembled with disbelief, a combined reaction of shock and gratitude. "Just promise me one thing," Jonah said, half joking. "You'll use that money to buy something good and maybe make some art?" The laughter that followed bubbled through the alley like a warm breeze, and Jonah felt a weight lifting. It was the gentle proof that small acts of kindness could mean the world to someone else. That act, woven from the threads of his own hardship, ignited a flicker of inspiration deep in Jonah's chest. He stood for a moment longer, watching the small group of kids scamper off in search of their next treasure. A vivid vision began to take shape in his mind, a mural that might encapsulate their spirit, their struggles, their triumphs. It would stand as a beacon of hope, a reminder that joy, justice, and connection could thrive even amid hardship. As he climbed back up the ladder, paintbrush poised, Jonah breathed in the possibilities waiting to fill the faded wall. With bright strokes, he would soon create a legacy, an overwhelming expression of unity that might just speak to the residents of Eastwood, encouraging them to see beyond their challenges and remember the beauty of community. The colors would breathe life into the darkness, shining like a beacon for all to see. To Jonah, that mural was no longer just about paint, it was about people, about dreams, about building a future, one brushstroke at a time. He envisioned faces, laughter, and the threads of their stories woven together into every hue he splashed against that wall. In this moment, Jonah realized he wasn't just painting, he was weaving hope, and as artist would know, hope is the brightest color of all. As Jonah painted, the sun broke higher in the sky, illuminating the blank wall he had envisioned transforming. Each stroke that flowed from his paintbrush seemed to breathe life into the concrete facade, rich with colors that danced and curled, drawing together the collective stories of the people who had inhabited this worn neighborhood. Children played nearby, their laughter a soft symphony accompanying his work, grounding him and convincing him of the magic that art could conjure. When Jonah added vibrant suns and radiant flowers, he didn't just create a mural, he birthed a community tapestry. Little by little, familiar faces emerged from the paint, Carlos gripping a paintbrush, Mia's friends spinning in bright skirts, all of them exuding the same boundless energy he witnessed each day. Onlookers, drawn by the evolving masterpiece, began to gather. Curious adults initially hovered at a distance, but as they watched the arte shape, hands began to clap and voices called out in support, spurring Jonah to dive deeper into the colors of their lives. Through their cheers, he felt something bold burgeon within him, hope expanded as he resonated with the people, realizing that they were his canvas as much as he was theirs. Step by step, stroke after stroke, he felt the mural start to entwine with his own purpose. He was not merely painting to escape the weight of his financial woes, he was breathing life into a community and emerging from his cocoon of uncertainty. Despite the joy pulsing through the crowd, lingering in the corners of Jonah's mind were echoes of bills unpaid and looming deadlines. Yet, those thoughts dimmed as the mural flourished, pulsing with the spirit of interconnectedness that brought forth love, laughter, and resilience. Each day ended with more than just time spent painting. It was dusk, baseball games in the park, and neighboring families laughing while sharing stories of theirs that wove back into the fabric of the fading community. 2 weeks passed, and with every sunrise, Jonah poured himself deeper into his project, only breaking for warmth with the excited children or words of encouragement from adults passing by. One evening, he was eager to finish the last details of the mural before the weekend. With vibrant colors swirling into the design, anticipation bubbled within him for the final reveal. The community could finally see their storied lives celebrated. As Jonah painted the final strokes, Mia ran up, breathless, her hair flying wildly behind her. "Jonah! You won't believe it," she exclaimed, her excitement palpable. "A local art show wants to feature your mural." They saw the progress on social media, but they wanted in the display. Jonah paused, paintbrush hovering. An art show? His heart raced with both excitement and guilt, a sidling apprehension that they'd charge a fee or ask for a commission he couldn't afford. "But I'm not sure, Mia. Come on. They think it's beautiful, and you're amazing. They want to contribute to the community, and they offered to pay you $1,000 just for showcasing your work. For a live demo," she urged, bouncing on her feet, her eyes bright. The prospect left Jonah torn yet elated. Living off scraps was something he had grown accustomed to, but this? Sweet validation, the knowledge that his community art mattered, could lift his spirits, perhaps help pay some overdue bills. Financial rewards did come, riding on the coattails of kindness, like a sandcastle crowned by the tide. Mia's enthusiasm was contagious, and soon Jonah's heartbeat resonated with it. "Okay, let's do it," he agreed. "But we need the family involved. We'll get them to help, too." Word spread quickly, and people began to gather in anticipation of the event, a celebratory unveiling of a mural that had entwined their lives and stories. Jonah enlisted local artists, elderly residents who carried history their lined faces, and eager children who clutched their paintbrushes, eager to splash color upon the final tableau. Days rolled by in an exhilarating whirlwind, the artwork transforming into a kaleidoscope of shared experiences, contemplations and celebrations, moments of love painted alongside trials and resilience. And as they painted together, Jonah witnessed the ripple effects of kindness extend far beyond the one spontaneous act of childhood curiosity. Old friends rekindled connections, neighbors learned each other's names again, warmth returned like the embrace of the sunlight. Finally, the day of the art show arrived. Jonah stood before his masterpiece, heart thrumming with pride and vulnerability. The air hummed with anticipation among the crowd of neighbors and visitors, ready to witness the unfolding of their unified heart. Whispers of admiration filled the space, while children excitedly tugged on their parents' sleeves, pulling them closer to catch every ounce of color erupting from the wall. When it was time for the unveiling, Jonah felt a warm wave of support wash over him as the mayor of Eastwood cued the countdown. 3, 2, 1. The cloth dropped, revealing the mural in its full splendor. Gasps of astonishment blended with thunderous applause. Jonah breathed in the atmosphere, feeling their gratitude wrap around him like a gentle breeze. This mural, the mayor announced, is not merely a testament to the resilience of Eastwood but a celebration of our community. This is from the hearts of our residents to honor our past and inspire our future. Tears pricked at the corners of Jonah's eyes as he took in the transformation around him. In locked gazes, he saw lives connecting and stories intertwining, growing from the roots of kindness that developed into something much more significant. The evening culminated in laughter, music, and food, weaving merriment into the vibrant tapestry surrounding the mural. In that beautiful moment, Asna connected with longtime neighbors. A stranger approached. "Excuse me," a man in a tailored coat introduced himself. "I'm from an arts organization focused on community upliftment. Your mural is spectacular, and I'd love to discuss how we can collaborate to bring more art to Eastwood. We believe in investing back into communities like yours." As they spoke, Jonah felt the thrill of possibility racing through his veins. Just days prior, he had been paralyzed by uncertainty, but here was hope standing shoulder to shoulder with opportunity. The man extended an offer to sponsor future community art projects, offering to fund supplies and labor, even reaching a value that exceeded $5,000, money that could help revitalize their beloved neighborhood. Jonah's heart swelled, not merely at the monetary boost but at the realization that kindness had indeed rippled throughout the community, creating connections that fostered genuine change. What had sprouted from a simple act had branched into a flourishing opportunity for transformation and unity, shifting the fabric of the neighborhood for the better. Later, as the stars glittered in the velvety sky, Jonah stood in front of the mural, the fading light casting a soft halo around the colors. The laughter, joy, and warmth of that gathering filled his spirit, illuminating his path. Each layer of paint now represented more than mere pigment, it told a tale woven from love, resilience, and the beauty of community. And in that moment, within the tender embrace of hope, Jonah realized that their stories were not just painted upon the wall but etched into his heart forever, reaffirming the remarkable magic that kindness and unity could cultivate within the lives of others. The adventure of creating, from paint to tangible change, had emerged brilliantly on the street that once seemed strewn with shadows, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, vibrant and unreadable, awaiting the next chapter in the beautiful tapestry of Eastwood. As weeks passed since the unveiling of the mural, the vibrant colors of Eastwood seemed to pulse with a newfound energy. Jonah Morales watched as that once dull wall now gleamed with life, attracting visitors from surrounding neighborhoods. Families stopped by to admire the mural, share stories, and take pictures, all exuding pride in the piece that embodied their struggles, laughter, and triumphs. The financial boost from the art organization had been a game-changer, a catalyst propelling Jonah's passion forward. With the sponsorship secured, he could finally invest in better supplies and hire local artists to collaborate on future projects. No longer were his dreams confined to the flickering shadows of uncertainty, they blossomed into a kaleidoscope of creativity, imagination, and purpose. The community events had become more frequent, drawing folks together for art workshops, storytelling sessions, and collaborative muraling. Jonah found himself not merely standing at the easel guiding others, offering the same hands-on mentorship that had once helped him discover his passion. The mural there had shifted his understanding of art from solitary endeavor to communal expression. It was during one such workshop, under the warm embrace of a sun-drenched afternoon, that Jonah felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over him. Children darted around, paint splattering amidst their energetic shouts, while adults teamed up to transform ordinary plywood into patches of artistic beauty. Sitting with Carlos, the young boy whose family had inspired his recent work, Jonah watched in awe as the child hesitated over a wide brush, searching for direction. "What do you want to paint, Carlos?" Jonah asked gently, his heart swelling at the sight of the boy's concentrated furrowed brow. With hope lighting up his eyes, Carlos grinned and replied, "A spaceship that can take us to the stars. I want to show everyone that we can dream big, no matter where we come from." Jonah's chest tightened with emotion as he handed Carlos a bright red brush and positioned the palette more clearly. "Then let's make it happen. Together, we'll create a universe out of this wall." And so they worked, layer upon layer, from swirling galaxies to sparkling comets, working as a team. The laughter resonated between them as they claimed each brushstroke with joy, reminding Jonah of his own journey, not just in art, but in the delicate act of being present for one another. As the bout of laughter faded into the gentle hum of a thriving afternoon, Jonah found himself surrounded by a group of neighbors, once strangers, eager to tell him how the mural had impacted their lives. There was Anna, a single mother who had struggled to find her footing after losing her job. She shared how she'd started painting with the children and found solace in creating a path that guided her toward starting her own small mural business. "Your mural gave me the courage I've been searching, Jonah," she said, her voice thick with gratitude. "I'm now earning enough to help my family, and I've just signed a contract with a local cafe to paint their walls. Thank you for bringing us together." The pride swelled in Jonah's heart. Each story echoed with the power of unity, a reminder that it wasn't just his initial generosity that ignited change, it was a chain reaction that rippled throughout the entire community. Days turned into evenings, and soon the night of the first annual Eastwood Arts and Culture Festival arrived, a celebration born from the very murals that had transformed their lives. Jonah felt the weight of expectation in the air, yet his heart fluttered at the thought of what was to come. The murals had taken hold, symbols of revival and purpose, and many people were pitching in to share their artistry. As twilight settled over the neighborhood, Jonah stood at the entrance, awaiting the arrival of guests with anticipation bubbling inside. The atmosphere wastric, a festival of laughter, dance, and unity coalescing into a vibrant tapestry of connection. Lively music floated through the air, accompanied by energy radiating from friends reconnecting and new bonds forming amid colorful stalls filled with local crafts and art. Under the stars that twinkled like gems, Jonah couldn't help but reflect on his journey throughout the past year. The financial struggles, the solitude he had felt while painting alone, all of it felt like mere stepping stones leading him to this moment. It had taught him humility, compassion, and the inextricable bond of community. As he moved through the festival, he felt a profound gratitude for the lives that had intertwined with his, the lives he never imagined he could touch through something as simple as a splash of paint. Every mural had become a testament to resilience, and here, in vibrant celebration, they were reminders that life could flourish even in the face of adversity. Jonah settled beside a stadra. Various community members showcased their talents. He spotted Carlos, proudly standing with his spaceship painting front and center, accepted by all as a celebration of dreams. The audience erupted in applause as Carlos, with his wide grin and paint-smeared clothes, took a bow, and Jonah felt pride swell within him. They were not only celebrating art, they were celebrating themselves, their stories, their dreams, their triumphs. Amidst it all stood a booth adorned with colorful banners bearing the name of a new cooperative, Eastwood Artists Collective. It was a symbolic embodiment of everything they had created together, a way for artists to collaborate and support one another financially. At that moment, Jonah recognized the fruits of his initial act of kindness and saw how each person had contributed to a thriving ecosystem of art, growth, and mutual support. The tears began to prickle at the corners of his eyes. Life had unfurled around him, and he had become part of so much larger than himself. As the night deepened, Jonah felt the warmth of togetherness wrap around him. The festival culminated in a round of applause for him as the one who ignited it all. With gratitude in his voice, he took center stage. "Dear friends, this is a celebration of our journeys together. A mural is only as powerful as the voices it represents. Thank you all for sharing your stories and for reminding us that we can rise together. I am forever grateful." The crowd cheered, emotions spilling over into smiles and laughter. Jonah felt effervescent like the bubbles in a glass of soda, almost weightless with joy. He knew that their stories had woven through his heart in a way he had never expected. Later that night, after the festivities had winded down, Jonah found himself walking home alongside Mia, the events still echoing in their hearts. They chatted about dreams and what the future might hold, both filled with a sense of purpose and belonging. "Mia, to dame that kindness doesn't just stay put, it ripples outward. You remember that time I gave Carlos some money for his mom? That simple act grew into something beautiful." Jonah's voice softened, crushed under the weight of honest reflection. "Yeah, and it gave us this amazing mural," Mia replied, her eyes sparkling. "I can't believe it grew into a whole festival." "Exactly, and it's proof that when we care for each other, we breathe life back into our neighborhoods. It opened doors I hadn't even imagined were there, Mia," he added, the emotion brimming in his voice. "We've created an art family here, and it feels inspiring to watch everyone rise with each other." It's more than just art, it's about hope. The two walked in comfortable silence, one that was warm and calming under the bright glow of streetlights, illuminating the paths ahead. Jonah realized that the radiance of those colors on the walls of Eastwood extended far beyond the paint itself. It illuminated hearts, nourished dreams, and began yielding fruit in the lives of everyone involved. In time, Jonah not only thrived as an artist but found himself blossoming into a community leader, dedicated to uplifting local voices. Together with others, he formed various initiatives, including art programs for children, mentorship for emerging artists, and outreach provisions for struggling families. Just as the colorful murals had once transformed the streets, so too, Jonah transformed his life through acts of kindness, gratitude, and connection. They became agents of change, lighting up an entire neighborhood, with hope radiating in a world once marred by despair. And for Jonah, his life became a beautiful mural too, a testament to camaraderie and the immeasurable power of giving back, where friends and neighbors no longer existed as mere to grow, but rather as entwined lives dancing brightly under a shared sky filled with dreams yet to be realized. In each stroke of the paintbrush lay evidence of love, and the boundless potential that flourished wherever hearts joined together in unity. As he and Mia approached their home, both knew, in the depths of their beings, that this was just the beginning of something extraordinary.